Hi everyone, Flaming Footy here and welcome back to a new video on the channel. And today guys, here we are for my AFL 2022 match reviews, and in today's video I'm going to be reviewing last night's preliminary final between Geelong and Brisbane. Of course, the winner goes through the grand final. Both these teams have had some pretty decent run of form into this game. The Cats have had a really good winning streak, and the Lions against Melbourne overturned their MCG hoodoo to break it and send a bit of confidence into this one. And I would tell you, it was an absolute cracking game of footy, this one. So I just said it was a cracking game of footy for one side, very poor game for the other. Geelong 18-12, 120 are into the grand final. They smashed Brisbane 7-49, and after Brisbane played really well last week up the corridor, this week they put nothing to the table. The Cats, they used their spare in the corridor really well, and they ended up getting the win quite convincingly. And look, it was almost over at half time, and the Cats 7-7 to 3-1. They led they were always in front by a pretty clear margin, even though at quarter time was only a couple of goals. But you can just sense when a team is on, and the Cats were on. And that third quarter, they kicked 7 goals to 2. The game was over at three-quarter time. The game was over at half time, sorry, should I say. And then the last quarter, they kicked 4 more goals to the Lions 2. So, very disappointing game of footy here from Brisbane. They started 2 goals, 3 to half time, 5 to three-quarter time, 7 to full time, and they are a really good scoring side, Brisbane, but only 7 goals for the game. That's a disappointment for them in this one. But yeah, it was just an absolute smashing. The Cats held full control over Brisbane. 28 disposals for Dangerfield. He was on as well. And yeah, just going to talk about a thing as well. Now, this did end up resulting in a Dangerfield goal. Was that yeah, when the Cats, they were a lot better with the footy, but also without the footy. Well, not necessarily without the footy, but they didn't get numbers for tapping the ball over their head, but they tapped the ball on to advantage to another player. So I saw this happen a couple of times in the game where they just tapped it over their head, did Geelong, and it ended up getting a Dangerfield goal and creating a few more opportunities when it could have been a ball up. So really good work by the Cats to point that out. And that will be little minor things that could end up winning your grand final just like that. So smart to know where your player is. So for example, I think it was Guthrie that did it. To know where Dangerfield is perfect. 4 goals for Hawkins, 115 fantasy for Dangerfield, 10 tackles for Devin Robertson and Tom Atkins. We know Tom Atkins does that a lot. But yeah, just back here, it was just an absolute smashing. Like, they just held full control over the games of the Cats, and this is their year, I reckon. I reckon this is the year that they can really do something really special, Geelong. This is the year they can win a flag. Their list is in perfect shape. 115 fantasy for Dangerfield, 113 for Duncan, 100 for Hawkins, 98 for Berry and Bailey, 96 for Zach Guthrie and Devin Robinson. Goals behind now, 4 goals for Hawkins, 3 goals for Stengel. He's been one of the pickups of the season. He got picked up for nothing. And what he does down there at Geelong is really good. He's so smart around the goals as well, so another really nice outing for him. 3 goals, 2 goals for Dangerfield, 2 goals for Hipwood as well from the Lions. They're only multiple goal scorer. 2 for Grime, Myers, Rowan, who took a little while to get his hands on the footy, but did end up doing it. Jeremy Cameron, 1 goal, 2. Wasn't his best night from the sticks. And Tom Hawkins, after having a shaky start, finishes with the 4 goals, 3. So he did end up coming back later to make more impact. Dangerfield, 28 disposals, 26 for Duncan, 24 for Tui, 23 for College Asney, 22 for Myers, close Guthrie. That's all Geelong. Lockie Neal, one of the Brownlow medal favourites, was held to 20 disposals. That's when you know you've done a good job on him, keeping him to a low number. Well, for his standard, like 20. He's normally up gathering 30, 40. So keep him down to 20. That's really good. And that does show they were heading in the right direction with what they were doing onto him. Last week, of course, we know Melbourne dropped the tag on Lockie Neal, which is probably why they lost in the end. But the Cats, they kept it going, and in the end, they got full reward from that. Bit of a bold move, but yeah, if you tag Lockie Neal, you can really shut him down, and that's exactly what they did. They still did. He still did get 20 disposals, but probably not the way that he would have liked to have had as high impact as what he can have that we know Lockie Neal can do. 11 marks for Darcy Gardner, 10 for Tui and Duncan, 9 for Henry, Dangerfield, College, Jasney, again, pretty much all Cats. Tackles, 10 for Atkins, 10 for Robinson, 7 for Blitzarves, Guthrie, Selwood, Berry, again, more Geelong players. Hit-outs, 39 for McInerney. Would have felt the presence, though, the Lions with him back into the side. 20 for Blitzarves, 18 for Stanley, 3 for Hawkins, 1 for McStay and Danaher. And then now to the team stats we go, where there was heaps more of the footy for the Cats. 361 to 296 disposals in favour of Geelong. They had way more of the footy. Used it way more with handballs, though. 152 to 99. Went inside 50, 13 more times. Really good when going in. Looked dangerous. Well, while Brisbane didn't. And then clearances were in favour of Brisbane. 37 to 40, 9 to 14. And you can win the centre clearances 9 to 14 Brisbane, but you've got to make sure they're actually doing something a little bit efficient with them and not just dump kicking them into Geelong, who can take marks. That's exactly what they did. They just kicked it in, kicked it into Geelong, who just took all the marks back there. They've got such a great back line. Stewart, Henry, Kolajasny, Tui, and there's even more players back there. Stoppage clearances 28 to 26 in favour of Geelong. Let's see, anything else? They had way more uncontested footy, did the Cats, 230 to 177, making the ground feel really too easy for them. Marks, 102 to 88, taking way more marks. Marks inside 50, 15 to 11, more set shots. Contested marks, 15 to 8. Again, you can see when it's just going down the line and rolling, their defence is so strong that they'll take those marks. Meanwhile, for Brisbane, it's a hard thing to do. They found it out against Melbourne last week. Hard to take marks, especially when you're up against some of the best defences in the game. Melbourne last week, Geelong this week. It was not at all easy for them. The Cats led for the whole game. Biggest lead of the game was 79 points, but a 71-point win is really good. They go into the grand final on a brilliant patch of form. It's a 15-game winning streak now. They win the granny. They make it 16. It carries on next year. Their opponent is yet to be found out, though. So the Lions, they go home with a very disappointing 71-point loss to end off their year. But the Sydney versus Collingwood game is a really big one at the SCG Saturday afternoon or Saturday twilight. That's going to, of course, decide who will play the Cats in the grand final. I reckon, yes, I'll give you my tip for this one. I reckon Sydney are going to get through. SCG, really tough to beat the Swans on their home deck. But I reckon, yeah, it's going to be a cracking grand final. Now, yes, there will be plenty of grand final videos as well. Got some really good grand final videos planned in the week prior to the grand final, which is really exciting as well for the channel. But it is the Cats by 71. They comfortably beat the Lions and book their spot into a grand final. I reckon this could potentially be their year. And of course, they'll be sitting down watching the Sydney Collingwood game to see who their opponent will be in the 2022 AFL Grand Final. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Send you guys never miss another video on the channel. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Bye everyone. Flaming Footy out.